You truly are fantastic.
Oh, hey, it's Quasar.
Oh, he said it! He said the thing! Now, of course, if you guys haven't seen the previous part, there should be a playlist to all of our Marvel lore reactions in the description. And if you haven't already, go and support Beam Mask and the original video by clicking the link at the very top of the description, as always.
These videos are great. We must support the original.
Must. We need more like this. And I've heard you guys, the Thunderbolts video is certainly very tempting, but hot damn, that is 2 hours and 30 minutes long, and also several parts to it. I don't know how much content there is to Thunderbolts, but I guess there's a lot. Oh,
Yeah, apparently.
well,
I don't know much about the comic book Thunderbolts, which are very different from the movie, I know.
oh yeah. That I do know as well, but yeah, we'll look into that one someday. But alright, my dudes, let's get right into it.
No,
Doom!
I don't think so.
No!
Marvel Tokon, my main. Yeah!
Yeah, I bet you were wondering when I get to him. The FF's greatest foe, Marvel's poster villain, the big boy. Dr. Doom is considered one of comics' most iconic.
It was so insane, like how central this guy is to Marvel as a whole as well.
Yeah.
As somebody,
100%.
like as a complete outsider, I never knew Doom was this cool and this badass.
I've said it before, but that's been my favorite thing about the deep dives into Marvel is you discovering just that Dr. Doom is him.
And it's so perfect that I learned about that right before Marvel Tokon got announced.
Yes.
The amount of hype I saw when this man showed up on screen, I've never experienced in my entire life. It's insane.
Yes.
When the universe is tearing apart and God literally questions, "Who are you to stand against me?" This man can stand there and say, "Me, I am Doom." God damn!
Bad guys. Not just for Marvel, but for all time. He's not oblivious to his incredibly on-the-nose name. I think Doom embraced it as a way of accepting that maybe life would never turn out the way he wanted. Victor Von Doom, the hyper-intelligent son of gypsies persecuted by the corrupt government of his home country, Latveria. His remarkable inventions used in acts of revolution caught the attention of the American military, who helped send him to the States to fund a world-class education, returning years later to overthrow the corrupt regime and become king. Doom has actually been shown to...
Interesting. Yeah, we never learned anything about Doom up until now. But,
He's just kind of always showed up in the biggest moments.
yeah. And, horrible representations of him in live-action movies.
Ew, yes.
You kind of have to be pretty much on par with Reed Richards if you're going to be a main villain for the Fantastic Four, I suppose.
Be a prolific leader, admired by his people, and a key part of political discussions worldwide, despite rumors that he wishes to, quote,
I wish all political leaders had the fashion sense of Doom.
It would make all those gatherings a lot more interesting to watch, for sure.
rule the world. I mean, come on. Stan Lee wanted to push a villain who wasn't affected by the law, his title as monarch bestowing him with diplomatic immunity, backed up by all the necessary paperwork, in case you're wondering.
Leave my castle immediately, after we fixed your little red wagon.
No, Mr. Grimm. You will do as Dr. Doom says. I have just concluded a non-aggression agreement with Latveria to maintain our national security and world peace. You silly Billy.
He's got something over Reed Richards too. Doom believes in magic, a practice he'd been studying alongside science for years, which has made him an invaluable ally to some powerful key figures. Could be a cool guy, could be a hero, but
Real
he has a
Giga Chad, master of science and magic.
Compared to Doctor Strange, who lands where?
That's a hard question. Currently in the I believe he still is, but he is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Wait, Doom's the Sorcerer Supreme?
Yeah. I believe he still is.
Damn.
In the current comics.
Well, for the comic enthusiasts, let us know. Where is Doom currently in the Marvel comics? Because I want to know.
Doom is such an interesting character, though, because, yeah, you take basically the scientific intelligence of Reed and the magic prolificency of Strange and kind of fuse them together into one character.
Mm-hmm.
His ego.
What of the evil mutant Magneto, Master? I have read that his power rivals even yours.
Rivals.
Marvel rivals.
Someone! Doom is supreme. There is no
No one
power
rivals
on
Doom.
earth,
It's true.
no intellect in all creation.
The only one who rivals Doom is Doom, apparently, as we've learned.
That's genuinely my favorite thing that Rivals did. Was that we have to establish Doom as the main villain, but who could go against Doom? Another Doom! Genius!
To equal mine.
Genius, I tell you.
Doom's mother, who was well into occult practices, was allegedly taken by the demon Mephisto, and Victor had planned, while at college, to create a machine.
I've heard of Mephisto before. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with, like, Ghost Rider or magic.
He
Pretty...
comes up pretty frequently.
Yeah.
He's also the one of the lowest points for Spider-Man comics.
Damn.
He's also part of the origin of Wiccan, who's one of my favorite characters.
I guess dude gets around.
He
To
does.
try the
better
impossible,
or
to
worse.
reach the afterlife through science and save her soul. Reed Richards, a fellow classmate, was skeptical this was a good
A fellow classmate? Oh, because
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, he got a tuition to go and learn in the States, and I guess they ended up in the same gifted school or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
good idea, pointing out flaws in the Latverian's calculations. Victor dismissed him entirely,
How dare you.
only for it to explode in his face.
Oh, and that's why he wears the mask. Because of this. Oh.
Ugly. Ugly. My face is horrible. No other eyes must gaze upon it.
The extent of the damage was actually minimal, but this imperfection,
Oh.
amplified by
Okay. I guess Doom's a little bit of a perfectionist then. Fair enough.
the realization that Reed had proven himself to be smarter, that Victor was no longer special, was all he needed to immediately
Yeah, that
renounce
was worse
everything good
than
he
the
could
scar.
become. From then on,
emotional
his
damage.
life would be colored by one word. Doom. This
Genius,
self-destructive
truly.
message
Okay. I guess the thing that is going to mess up your face is burning the mask onto it, for sure.
No.
is why he's a villain rather than a hero, and why he feels the need to oppose Reed's family at every turn. While the four share new technology freely from their open home, Doom offers table scraps to his people from a well-guarded castle. While the four encourage an open community, Doom enforces a regime that keeps his people in line. And while the four enjoy the company of their family, Doom, outside of a myriad of servants and robots, or reflections of his own image, lives alone. He has become more and more fragile as the decades roll by, now unreachable from his emotionless mask of iron.
Doom needs no one.
It's his vulnerability that's always been most interesting. Yeah, he's a badass and whatever, but that's not enough. What makes him so impressive is what makes him so tragic. Here, let me show you a thing. In a story called Secret Wars, several heroes and villains were placed on an alien planet and forced to fight each other by an almighty cosmic entity known as the Beyonder. Doom was
Yep.
the only one who sidestepped the issue, instead plotting to steal the entity's power for himself, and
Bro. I love Doom. I love him so much. If Morpheus offered him like a red and a blue pill, he'd somehow figure out a third option.
Yeah.
Bro would break the Matrix himself, alone.
no matter what the Beyonder threw at him, he would not back down. Look at this. Doom, screaming in defiance at a godlike being, no doubts in his face. But beneath his armor, torn threads reveal his battered, mortal body. Doom fooled the world.
I can't believe it. No wonder why I like Doom so much. He's a literal JRPG protagonist fighting God.
into
Yes.
thinking he was more than a man, because he himself believes it. It's that defiance in the face of reality and the people who
Believe
know
it.
better that makes Doom someone we, in some small way, can kind of admire. But it's the four that
I remember that shot, that particular comic battle. He just like, oh, so you want to mess with my planet, huh? That appears untrue. Snatches spine out of body. God damn! Whoa! Well,
It's
calm
so
down!
cool. Yes.
I need a move like this in Marvel Tokon. But if it
Just
doesn't
in
happen...
Mortal Kombat style.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, in the next Mortal Kombat game they make, put Doom in there. He's just there. He just pulls somebody out,
yeah.
does a fatality.
If anyone were to just stumble into a Mortal Kombat game, it would be Doom.
I know the rights probably aren't going to allow it because, Warner Brothers, DC, and all that. But hey, if Spawn can make it, then why not Doom? But I mean, Spawn is Image Comics, so.
It's the four that define the truth.
I
A
would love to
lot
see
of
Doom
people
in
have tried to
Mortal
act
Kombat,
like
that'd be
Doom works
Same.
without the FF's existence, but it doesn't fly. It is precisely because Reed exists that Victor chooses to be Doom. Two men so alike, yet trying so hard to oppose each other's principles, with Victor determined to prove at any cost that not everybody has to live like Reed.
Richards is a thought. His reckless adventuring and constant interference in my and many other countries' internal affairs has destabilized the political balance of the entire world. The day will come when that world will beg me to contain Richards' evil for them. Perhaps I will answer that call. Until that day, ask yourself why Richards has failed to cure the pathetic condition of his best friend Ben Grimm. This interview is over. Doom has spoken.
Ah, shut up.
Their enemies always
This is over. Doom has spoken. Ends call. This is how I should end videos from now on. Zero has spoken. Be gone.
Imagine.
I
Oh,
always
man.
wanted to learn how to be a villain. Maybe Doom can be my sensei. I don't think he would take me, but one can hope.
stay the same, unwilling to accept their flaws can be dealt with, and the FF, since the beginning, have been open to change, and how the future of their team, and indeed their family, can evolve, starting with their own children. Franklin Richards appears to be a normal little boy, and in spite of being surrounded by so much intense genius, he's never stopped being that way. He makes up for this in his extreme untapped potential, having been born with metahuman abilities that, well, where do you want me to start? He brings a healthy dose of innocence to the team.
I'm assuming he's got a lot of things going on that can't really be
That is an
encapsulated.
Understatement.
I see. So it's kind of, well, we'll get to it if we get to it.
There are few characters to rival Franklin when it comes to just power.
I see. Like right now in my head, I'm thinking this is basically Jack from The Incredibles, right? But kind of like a little more grown up and mastered more powers.
Imagine a character that you're not sure if he's a mutant or not, because theoretically he could have rewritten reality to make himself a mutant. So are his powers mutant based? Who knows?
What did you just say? Okay. Yeah, I'll accept it.
Kind of pre-existing notion of a normal life, and who solves problems at face value. That colours a lot of the stuff he does with those phenomenal cosmic powers. Entire series have been born on the back of that. But that innocence probably makes him right to be the protector of the Marvel Universe itself. No pressure.
What? He's literally responsible for the entire universe as it exists?
If you remember the cosmology video, basically Sir Superhero said if someone were to survive to the end of the universe, it would most likely be Franklin Richards.
He'd be the last one standing, I suppose. Damn, that amount of responsibility for a kid. Well, now he's a kid, and I'm sure in the future he grows up, obviously, but... Huh.
I got stuck in hell for like ever, and there were monsters, and I was pretty sure they were going to eat me, but I got out.
Franklin.
Then my mom caught on fire, and my dad took over the whole country, and the government took away all my dad's money, and Galactus threw mom and dad off the roof, and said he's gonna kill, like, all of us. Cool, huh?
Kids. They just say the darndest things.
Valeria Richards' history is a little more complex. Sue had, years ago, miscarried a second child. Franklin was hurt by the idea of losing a sibling he never knew, so his reality-altering powers took the potential baby away to be born in another universe, where Reed had died and...
Of course. This is the freaking Scarlet Witch situation all over again.
Except for his power sets just couldn't do that.
the child by a reformed Dr. Doom. Oh dear. This was the fully grown teenager that then arrived in our universe as Marvel Girl.
You creeps think you're tough? Trust me, you don't know the meaning of those words. I'm just the person to teach it to you. Who wants the first lesson?
She represented a
She kind of gives me the same vibes as Magic a little bit. Kind of that, like, rebellious blonde teenager vibe.
There's a few of them in comics.
a troubling future, but eventually was accepted by her parents. And as it so happens, she, through Franklin, sacrificed herself to be born again in this universe. As you do. This proved pretty complicated for poor Sue, the cosmic pregnancy being a bit... and unfortunately required a house call from a doctor who, well, you know, it had...
Wait. Born in an alternate reality, raised by a reformed Dr. Doom, comes to this universe, gets accepted into the family, sacrifices himself to be reborn once again, and then is delivered by Dr. Doom of this universe. Wow. How the turntables have turned. It's all just a loop, a perfect circle, ain't it? Alright. Is she also gonna be raised by Doom? Do they just give her to him? For some reason? Probably not.
Grim implications that would be paid off, but it's worth noting that it essentially made Doom part of the family.
Reed!
Oh. Well, I guess Batman didn't appreciate that notion.
Batman.
He's been quiet for like 2 hours now.
Good.
Yeah.
Batman.
Doom's personal connection to Reed being students in the same school and the whole project going wrong, and now he's disagreeing fundamentally with Reed's way of thinking to prove himself right all this time, and now he's a part of the family too. So it's not just a personal thing, now it's a family thing too.
And family matters the most when it comes to Reed and the Fantastic Four.
Exactly. This is just so smart, though, how they've interwoven all these characters together and all these themes that interconnect with each other. It just makes sense. But also, god damn it, why? Now there's just so much more turmoil that's going to happen. It's almost like these comics will last forever now. Damn it.
I don't know how he did it.
I don't know either, love. And I don't care.
Your gratitude is overwhelming, Richards. But I will receive some measure of satisfaction from
You'll take her?
naming the girl.
No, you...
Yes, he
Oh, to
will,
name her?
Reed. I agreed to it.
She agreed because Susan at least knows that I am a man of honor and style.
Damn.
I would not be...
Damn! Yes, you are, dude. You tell him.
so crass as to name the child Duma, for instance. No. She shall be called Valeria. I place you under my royal protection, little Valeria. If anyone is ever foolish enough to strike at
You
you,
love Godfather Doom.
they will deal with me.
I love this man. I love him so much. There are so many worse godfathers to have than Doom.
Honestly,
real
yeah,
with
no,
you.
he's pretty up there as one of the best, probably.
If you ever got into trouble with God, Doom would be there. And he'd win.
yeah.
Oh.
There's somebody, to have Doom on your side, definitely not a bad thing. Honestly.
Never. It is never a bad thing. But that, of course, means if he's on your side, obviously.
I mean, ignore the fact that he's a villain and that, things tend to not go great for the villains. But, things go great
Pish
for
posh.
Yeah.
Regardless of who you're siding with, things tend to go wrong anyways in the Marvel universe. For
Yeah,
the sake of
exactly.
entertainment, so it is what it
And
is.
a lot goes right for Doom, all things considered.
Yeah, true.
He's probably got one of the best track records as far as a villain goes, actually.
I mean, he's still here. He's still kicking. And he's still
He's a
incredibly
king,
popular in the
he's
comics.
Had
Yeah.
lots of great cosmic successes.
Yep. I love the depth of Doom's character, though. Like, in just this one moment, you can see that he can be so much more than just, like, the cold villain that his mask portrays him to be. Like, even underneath all that, he still has a heart inside of him.
There's so much nuance to his character that I think never has, like, we've talked about how poorly portrayed he's been in movies and things, but I feel like those are the things that always get missed with his character. It's just all that kind of subtlety and nuance.
Which makes the mask itself even more symbolic, really. I mean, masks mean a lot of things for superheroes, and a lot of themes carry over, regardless of whatever series or hero that you're looking at. But here, I think it definitely emphasizes this aspect of him. That he wears a cold outer shell, but deep down he is much more than that. Much more than what he wants you to believe he is.
Enjoy your family, Richards. And remember every time you look at your wife and daughter, that doom saved them both.
Like, this
So
is like...
petty, too.
Oh my god. This is freaking Terami from BlazBlue. It's like, yeah, even if I die, I'll live forever in your memories. Every single time you look at your wife and daughter, it was me, Reed. It was me, Barry, when you were kissing your girlfriend.
When once before, you could not.
Valeria herself has always been an interesting character, either as a snappy bubblegum rockstar hero or a super intelligent, precocious child. But at her core, she has always had one brilliant character trait that is both a joy and concern for her family, always being way out of her depth.
Take us to your father, young lady.
No, I can't do that.
Excuse me?
So sorry, but it says right here in the papers we were served. Blah, 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 meeting with a representative of Norman Osborn and blah, singular one. He wrote the rules, mister. Don't you think you ought to play by them? So gross.
Perhaps she gets that from Doom, who continued to play a vital role in her development. Now,
I mean, of course he would. Even if, like, Reed and Sue didn't want that. Well, you can't stop Doom from meeting her. He'll find a way. And he promised her, like, he would look over her, look after her.
Honestly, it'd be worse if they tried to keep away. I feel like then he starts finding other ways to get there.
Oh, he just straight up kidnaps her at that point, yeah.
Now connected to the team as an unwanted uncle. This expanded family hasn't ever stopped growing. In fact, it became a new mission of the FF to take not only their children, but the best and brightest, including some former enemies, and give them another chance as part of a late development they dubbed the Future Foundation. This was absolutely the step in the right direction the team needed, and I think it's a great representation of their constant attempts to think ahead and provide for the future rather than ruminate on the past. That said, I think it's in looking at their past that we see how this desire to constantly move forward has always been there. We've run the basic encyclopedia of their world and all the people in it. You get the idea. So now it's time to look at the best adventures they've been on and the stories that define them. 4 of their best runs.
Of course.
I haven't got the trappings of a circus, but there in my mind is a very active and bright and colorful place that's as good as any circus that I've ever seen. And I live with that, and I enjoy it immensely.
You don't see nearly as many clips of Jack Kirby as you do Stanley.
I would... Oh, this is kind of an assumption on my part. But for a guy like that, a creative mind like that, I feel like a lot of them are pretty introverted. So they would rather spend their time working on the thing that they love than going out there and doing interviews and whatnot. I'm right there with them, obviously. But,
I can imagine that, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
We've covered some of this, but it's worth expanding on how special the original run of the FF was. It's also nuts. Stan Lee had a few qualities that coloured his early books. His characters were not born role models. They were often highly abrasive and self-defeating, with major human problems. This was so he could put them in situations relatable to his readers, and the Fantastic Four were the first clear example of that concept. The reason it was so...
Yep, we talked about this earlier in part 1. That's kind of the difference between Marvel and DC, where you feel a lot of human relatability, and these superheroes that we're supposedly looking up to, well, they have their own flaws and whatnot. That's not really what Marvel's going for.
Groundbreaking is the reason some of it might grate on people now. Characters who bicker and fall apart at the drop of a hat in the first handful of issues maybe makes them seem irritating.
Thanks for the ride, Frogface.
Let's see how long you can dodge this, you blast-a-brain brat.
You still haven't told me how you like my hair.
It'll look great when you're out flying on your broomstick.
Wives are to be kissed and not heard.
Yeah, okay, some ups and downs, but that was the point. This was a level of frank naturalism that didn't exist in comics then. People giving little asides and jabs and inserting their opinions wherever possible. Spending panels hanging around the house and getting up to normal stuff between adventures felt way more real. Then there were the adventures themselves, bouncing the team from one insane madcap scenario to the next. No wonder this was such a riot in the 60s. It also ends up being a great investment to make in the long term, as the concept morphs bit by bit every issue. The characters gain costumes, meet new friends and foes, reveal secrets about themselves, and it becomes obvious at a certain point that the readership is growing. Stan begins taking things more seriously, the characters becoming more empathetic, more self-aware, and even funnier than before. Mostly Ben.
You're just being obdurate.
Hey, my religion's got nothing to do with it.
How do they let a full-time nut like you run loose?
He's talking like that to me? To me, who's always been his ever-loving idol?
Ben!
I wonder if he's trying to tell me something. Got a little message for you. Hope this ain't gonna be too subtle. For everyone to understand nice and easy. I hope you're all still listening, little friends.
What was that all about?
Wrong number.
With the ground rules of the family firmly in place, Stan was always looking to find a new way for their dynamic to drive the story, poking fun at the cliches of the genre or family life, doing dramatic stuff we didn't expect, and messing with the status quo as often as possible. They broke a lot of rules this way. Fantastic Four's huge crossover with the rest of the Marvel Universe was a big event, but was less shocking than the fact that Reed and Sue were actually, officially, going to get married.
Hey, Stark.
Impossible.
Say, I thought they only wore them hats in cartoons where kids toss snowballs at rich geezers.
I thought I'd get it out the mothballs for this occasion.
Wow, you sure didn't find her in no pile of mothballs, chum.
Jesus Christ, Benjamin.
And boy, you can see how this was the comic where Kirby earned his rep. What I love about Jack is the carefree energy in his work. You never get the same expression or idea twice. Everything is a crazy doodle of something super specific he wanted to get down. Controlled chaos. Each drawing's a gem. It's hilarious. Look at that. Oh my god, The blunt worldview of his style is incredibly accessible. Uncomplicated fantasy expressed in uncomplicated ways. A striking artistic statement in its own right. These abstract backgrounds he created to represent alternate dimensions, all done by photocopying mundane objects and newspaper clippings. Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Oh, that's really cool. I actually really like the older comic book art style. There's just something so campy and fun about it. Like, it knows what it is, but it's also kind of just a beautiful work of art at the same time.
I feel like the old work of like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, all of them, it's so iconic, and it's like, even if some of it like ages and it looks kind of funny, it's like, it's so endearing, and I love it so much.
Yeah. There are times when it looks like a kid drew this, but then it kind of fits enough and it works well together enough to just make it look awesome. I don't really know how you hit that threshold, but old comic books did.
Just the bright colors. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah.
Are meant to be fanciful interpretations of his own religious beliefs. The guy's an almighty figure with a herald who comes down to Earth and he walks around with a big G on his chest. Come on. Why do you think Benji's Jewish? Mazel tov. That makes it even more impressive as his style strides towards what we're more familiar with in the latter half of the run. The bolder, resonant look that would go on to benefit his work elsewhere without losing the sense of humor he started with.
That's all Stan had to say to Jack. Jack, show the thing holding up an old apartment building in New York and have the people cheering him on. And to knock himself out like that, with a page like that, he could have done 100 different ways, a lot simpler, you know? But that's great. Of course, they are Stan's captions, so you got to give Stan credit there. They're funny.
That said, we certainly get more high-concept drama. The panels going from a lot of singles to full splash pages of expressions, just getting across emotions.
Yes,
monumental tales emerge like This Man, This Monster, where a random creep finds humanity through experiencing Ben Grimm's life. How about when the Silver Surfer returned and had all his cosmic power taken by Doom?
Never before has any one human being been as totally supreme, as invincibly superior as I. Dr. Doom has attained power without limit. power enough to challenge Galactus himself.
Oh no.
People forget how far this run develops. Between the banter and the funny squabbling, I saw stories where the characters actually regretted their actions, actually criticized themselves for their mistakes. I see them dropping Sue Storm out of the comic entirely and replacing her with Crystal, shaking up the team dynamic and having Reed apologize for underestimating her, before Sue returns and saves the entire team. Heck, I see them celebrating the announcement of Sue's first child, and I realize it's the first time I've seen Ben Grimm actually happy. I was happy.
Yeah, don't let Susie. I know you lovebirds can do it.
I think you can put it down now.
It's dancing time. Can't believe it. I'm gonna be an uncle. Oh my gosh, am I ready to be an uncle?
No.
This is such a
No. I love this though. This is what I love about checking out other video game series too. That started from like say Kirby, right? It starts from a fun idea, and then slowly as time progressed over each iteration, it gets expanded upon more and more, and things get reflected back onto, which they clearly didn't plan out originally, but it just so happens that you can expand it this way, and it works. Seeing that progression is so satisfying.
When you can tell that the creators love the thing that they're creating. So it's like, even if they only had like a small room to work with at the start, as it expands, because there's so much love and passion for it, it just develops into something incredible. Whereas like you could see something the opposite spectrum. It's like it could have everything going towards it, but when the creators just don't care, it just grows into something hollow and shallow.
Yeah, that's definitely what it means when people say that they don't feel any heart from the story anymore. Like, you can tell when, like, say, a mangaka wants to move on to the next series, their story just becomes devoid of life. Like, they just go with the most generic-ass ending ever, and they just move on from it. Because they don't have anything left for it anymore. But at least from the comics that we've seen here so far, there just seems to be a lot of heart and a lot of love for these characters that they've created. And obviously, in the Ultron video that we watched, we have seen examples where certain writers think differently about the characters that they're handling.
Well, you'll see when we get into the Spider-Man one, which is another long video, but there's definitely ups and downs in that regard too there.
Yeah.
Real good book by the time it ends. A real whiz-bang-pow comic that I hope people still bother to look at. Such an amazing run made the falling out of Jack and Stan even more tragic. And even though it wasn't the last time they would work together, it was the end of the FF's heyday, and it would take a decade or so before things really got cooking again.
That's unfortunate. Do you know anything about what happened between Jack and Stan?
No, I'm not someone who tends to follow a lot of the real world side of it that much, though I would like to learn more about it, definitely.
So I guess then, after the Fantastic Four, then Jack wasn't a part of Marvel anymore, I presume. But yeah, for you guys who know, let us know about
I'd love to know more
history there. Yeah. I know a lot of you guys cringed at the fact that I didn't know who Jack Kirby was, but genuinely, like, as somebody outside of comics and never really like looked into it at all, I didn't know.
John Byrne is a legend in a lot of ways, not only because he both wrote and drew his own stories. People talk a lot about what he did with the characters and how far he took them, but not enough is said for how he pushed the format of comics too. Before Byrne, everybody was trying to, understandably, recreate Jack's style, and what made Byrne a breath of fresh air was that he tried to establish his own style while being true to the spirit of the franchise.
It's always going to be such a risk to take. And you gotta get somebody that is super passionate about a project and is willing to take that risk to push things even further. I feel like it's always
going to be for the better, though. If you can find someone who can appreciate the original but still put their own spin onto what they're doing. Because you can't just always... You'll never be like Jack Kirby. So trying to always be Jack Kirby means you're never going to be producing something
exactly
like that. I don't know.
It's the only way for progression. But it can obviously go wrong in many ways, too.
You need the right person, obviously.
Yep.
were going on weird, unusual adventures, so Byrne's comics often took on weird, unusual forms, breaking up the layouts we were used to, telling stories in a fresh new way. Cityscape was drawn entirely sideways to get the most out of the view. A flashback tale was rendered as a loving spoof of Jack Kirby's classic style. One story centers on the Trapster breaking into the Baxter building, and the reader is only ever shown the point of view of the security cameras, controlled by the robot secretary Roberta, or the villain's own eyes.
That is really fun, actually. That is a neat idea. We do see it nowadays, but back then that was probably like completely new to comics.
It's almost like the origin of like found footage.
Oh, imagine.
Wait a minute. Maybe these elevators are equipped with the same beam locks as the lobby doors. But that looks like a regular electronic lock on that door. I was right. Great, the stairwell. I figured there'd be some other way between floors in case the power failed. Now, if I remember right, the next level should be the astral side. Who's that? Oh, crud. This place is starting to spook me. I'll be jumping on my own shadow next.
It was the next step up from Stan's approach.
That is really cool, though, because seeing it from a villain who's trying to break into the building and their perspective means that you have a very good idea of what the layout of the building should be like, and it allows the readers to explore it more as well.
Where he was taking real-world logic and applying it to the world of superheroes. The difference was that Byrne often translated them into either interesting visual approaches or complex morality tales. The Trial of Reed Richards, featuring Byrne himself as a chronicler, focused on his recent effort to restore the cosmic balance by healing a fatally ill Galactus, who, immediately afterwards, then consumed the Skrull throne world. Oops, I guess. Reed, in an almost unwinnable argument, had to try and justify his actions to an entire universe.
When Galactus first came to Earth all those years ago, we were told by the Watcher that he was not evil, that Galactus is in fact beyond good and evil. That is a statement which has long troubled me. For if a being is neither good nor evil, he is by definition neutral. Yet clearly Galactus is not a neutral being. With increasing frequency, he feeds upon the life essence of whole planets, and should those planets prove to be inhabited, his effect is catastrophic to say the least. How can any rational man judge that to be neutral?
Byrne also took it.
He does have a point, but from the cosmic point of view, the purpose of Galactus is to do just that. Regardless of how he acts, he's still acting in the purpose that he was basically made for. It's tough. It's a really tough call. But I mean, seeing it from Reed's perspective as a human myself, yeah, I think exactly the same thing. I wouldn't let the guy go around eating things. People die when they're killed, obviously. Who could have guessed? Yeah. But I definitely love what this author is doing to the comics. We're adding so much more complexity to things. These moral questions that I love whenever stories challenge me to really think about. I mean...
Yeah, no, I agree. I love stories like that. That'd be some of my favorites.
You recommended I play Nier for a reason, that's for sure.
Yes, exactly.
Inspiration from clear genres to flavour his stories. One of the FF annuals takes place in a picturesque farming village out of state. The realization setting in as the story continues that the place is less than normal. That this is actually a 70s horror comic, which gets even better when you realise what it's all a direct payoff to. We have noir mysteries, sci-fi epics, every story reads like an episode of The Twilight Zone, hinged on a conceptual twist, which still carries the essence of adventure the original established, but all used as character studies taken from different angles. Way more confrontational. Some of it was just crazy fun too.
Damn.
Like when he sent the team back to 1936, or so they thought, with Nick Fury. So of course Nick decides to ditch everyone to complete his own mission. Kill Hitler.
Okay, Adolf, this is where you buy the farm. Wahoo!
John also sought to carry on.
This is where you buy the farm? Wahoo! Wubba wubba, I'm in the pink today, boy. Is that where they got the inspiration from? From like older American comics? Maybe. I don't know the timeline here, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah.
On the tradition of changing the team members, letting a couple of folks take the spotlight for a bit, though his most...
Oh, and if you guys are wondering what in the world we're talking about, Forgot to mention, we just watched part 2
I
of Fatal
wish you would have
Fury.
just left no context.
Everybody would be like, what? What is wrong with Zero? What did he just say? What does that even mean? But yeah, go and check out the Fatal Fury reactions and check out Thorgy's channel too. They're awesome if you're into fighting games. If you're not, check them out anyways. It's cool.
Long-standing choice was about as far removed from Crystal as it could possibly get.
Well, to put that in more familiar terms, it's clobbering time! Oh, let me soothe your tortured brow. Soothed a little too hard, huh? Hey, no need to let the good times end here. Let's keep the evening rolling, shall we? Hello, sailor. New in town?
Replacing Ben, She-Hulk finally got a chance to shine under Byrne as a sassy, confident, playful character, and, as an outsider to the fore, someone who was, underneath it all, terrified of being rejected. You could see the path early on Byrne would end up taking with his own She-Hulk series, becoming the most recognised version of her for years to come, and we gotta thank the Four for that.
Lovely people. We went to other dimensions, other planets. Even as an Avenger, I've never had the chance to see so much of the universe.
It was obvious Byrne was looking to give new life to the female teammates. Sue Richards was, through him, depicted as a maturing mother, and she was now more vocal about her problems and the team's issues. Eventually, this was brought to bear when the emotionally...
Yeah, I remember you bringing this up too, that like the older Sue was not exactly the way that we know her as current day. I suppose this is where the shift started happening. That's awesome, though. Yeah, this guy has done such great work for the Fantastic Four as a whole, and honestly for Marvel as a whole, too.
Yeah, you can tell just from the little bits we've seen of it.
Manipulative creature Psycho Man decided to make her the focus of his latest experiments. It brought out a lot of unspoken tensions between the family, revealing many of their inner demons, and the resulting story is considered by many to be a defining moment for Sue Storm.
The Psycho Man did more than twist my emotions. He forced me to look into the deepest corners of my soul.
Is this where Malice came from?
Forced me to confront who I am, what I've become. When we rocketed into the cosmic ray belt, when we gained our superpowers, we lost something. An innocence. A childlike naivete. For a long time, I've tried to go on as if we're still the same people we used to be. As if I was still the same. But I'm not. Not after all that's happened to us. Not after what Psycho Man did to me. There is no invisible girl anymore, Reed. She died when the Psycho Man twisted her soul. From now on, I am the Invisible Woman.
This was the last of the great...
I love how it's not just like a straight retcon, too. There's an explanation for why characters were the way they were that expands upon the idea of who they are. And it leads into their future selves. Yeah. That's really smart writing. This reminds me of the Psylocke video too, where we somehow managed to get out of that whole situation pretty much as cleanly as possible, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine how difficult it is.
Took out the careful gloves. We're like, that is the very
very lightly tap this. Yep. And I think it works. Yeah. This makes our character more interesting while still acknowledging that, yeah, this is how she was in the comics. But now she's a new her. So, yeah. Awesome. Good work.
Unfortunately. Byrne's Fantastic Four run may have ended abruptly, but I encourage you to read this if you want a masterclass in the art of making comics. Some of it, well, makes Watchmen look like Garfield.
Damn.
Mark Waid's pitch was to go back to basics. After years of FF adventures with so many new plot intricacies and characters to keep up with, he wanted to pare it back to the main four, and re-examine what made them tick for a modern audience. A lot of this is achieved thanks to the art of the late great Mike Waringo. His approach was to keep the fun and carefree spirit of the original, but now with a softer, rounder style, like the computer-generated cartoons that at the time were starting to become popular, to make them appealing to a new generation of readers. Having grown up with this run, sure worked for me. Waid challenged his characters emotionally, putting them somewhere out of their comfort zone and letting the sparks fly. Nobody was safe from this. My personal favourite is probably...
I have no pants, no!
No.
Way out of the comfort zone. Thrown in the deep end. And I think those situations are perfect, though, to really test your characters, to give your readers a great idea of who they are, just from how they respond to these kind of situations.
Probably Mark's take on Galactus. The guy has decided Sue Storm should be his next herald, and, long story short, Reed invents a device that swaps her powers with Johnny so Galactus can't find her. But this, as usual, is not enough.
So if Galactus wants Sue, and now I'm Sue...
Well.
Oh, this bites!
Now the story is something else completely.
Wait a minute. Was this the whole Future Foundation thing of why Johnny isn't there? Or is that a different thing? Different time?
I don't know. I haven't read these.
Yeah, maybe we'll lead into it. We'll see.
Galactus heightens the invisibility power to cosmic levels, which means it doesn't just make things literally invisible, it can make the invisible visible again. It makes everything visible.
Yeah! Oh! The loudness. It was the presence of the bug people that overwhelmed me. Like I had super hearing for a second. But not really, because it wasn't so much a sound as a sensation. And hang on, I finally get it! Oh, dude, hats off to the Power Cosmic thing. It finally sank in what that's all about. You needed someone to recognize the invisible, so you've got me doing that on the ultimate level. It's like cosmic sight, kind of. The unseen, the unnoticed, stuff that's hidden in any sense of the word. It just sort of automatically appears to me. I've now seen you for everything you truly are, and everything you ever were. We have to talk, Galactus. Or should I say, Galen?
Galen.
Go
on.
It's genius. You take the most immature character, the one who's the most irresponsible and shallow, and you give him the ability to perceive beyond a book's cover.
Johnny.
That is... Yeah, I don't know what else to describe it, but genius. Johnny, of all people, needs to become the therapist for Galactus.
Genius.
This guy who went out there with the freaking shades and dressed like, yeah, I'm the cool guy. Everybody's just sitting there laughing at him. This guy has to save the universe, essentially. Hell yeah, that's basically the Spider-Man story. No wonder why they're such good friends.
What's wrong, Johnny?
Johnny and Pete do have a lot of similarities.
Test.
Oh, hey, it's Quasar.
Oh, he said it! He said the thing! He did it! Damn it, that caught me off guard. I would have responded with, wait, say that again. Oh, man. Is this the storyline that makes Johnny just who he is? The more mature version of Johnny that we know exists out there?
So, yeah. I don't know.
If there was something to change this man, sense. It would be this moment, for sure. Actually understanding everybody around him more than he thought he did.
Is this what gives him the terrible mustache?
Oh, God.
Anyway, moving on. Galactus is drained of his power cosmic temporarily, which reveals the man behind the suit. The energy will eventually return to him, so the family decide they're going to try and show him the value in humanity, to feel guilty about his actions, involving some help from the lady who managed this with the Silver Surfer back in the day. Humanizing Galactus is no easy task, something Wade demonstrates really well.
Now, how do you humanize a cosmic being that eats planets for breakfast?
Yeah. With an insatiable hunger for everything.
That is a monumental task. I don't know how I would do any of these things. That's probably why I don't write comic books. Now,
if this one's how I've always envisioned it, then notice how the artist's thick brushstrokes evoke the subject's heart rather than its details. It's probably one of the 2 or 3 most groundbreaking paintings in all of history. What do you think, Galen?
It's pedestrian work. Rather unremarkable. If this is the best the human race can express itself, nonetheless, I suppose you can be excused your opinion given your ocular shortcomings. Next you'll tell me that this grotesquerie is worth my attention.
Oh, probably not that one. Charming friend you have here, Susan. Moving along.
Buddy, did no one explain why Alicia's so eloquent about art? Galen, she's one of North America's most accomplished sculptors. That statue you just insulted, for example,
It's
is her
hers.
piece.
Really? If she's blind, why would she even attempt something like that? Why would she not simply surrender herself to her affliction?
You wouldn't understand.
This is Suzanne. Notice how much can be suggested with simple forms and color planes. His technique formed the foundation of modern painting.
Galactus would end up finding redemption, but when he wrote for Doom, he decided to push the man to complete, total, and unambiguous villainy. It was, to drop its title, unthinkable.
Colin!
Oh,
Shh,
God.
Colin, sweetie, Mommy's right here.
My apologies, madam. I might exercise more care around impressionable children. Your boy is obviously reacting to my unfortunate physical condition.
Oh, I mean, sir, that's impossible. My baby is blind.
We should have known this was going to be special just from the open.
Bruh.
So cringe.
Wait, I don't know if that's a joke or if that's actually the line, but if it is the line, goddamn. Bro's so scary it makes even blind babies cry.
Opening chapter, as Doom searches the Earth for his lost love, Valeria. You get it now, right? We'd seen her
That's why. Okay, I see. But if Doom gave her the name Valeria, you know he's not gonna let anything happen to that child. Nothing.
Mentioned over the years, but this was the first time where it seems like he wanted to, perhaps, rekindle their romance. After many false starts, the two finally reunite, and it's a genuinely tender moment.
Victor, stop. You can't just come in and... I have a life beyond yours.
This is not an offer made lightly, Valeria. I am prepared to renounce science in all its forms, if you will take my hand.
What? God damn! This guy! What a legend, man. He's like, I love you so much that I'd give up all of this. Like, if I was a girl, hell yeah! But then again, I don't know if she knows Doom like that.
You sold yourself to Doom a long time ago, Zero.
Oh, 100%. Hey, if Doom walked up to me and said, "Hey, you want to marry me?" I would say yes. As the straight man,
hell yeah,
who's a man of culture, I constantly goon for women all the time, I would say yes to Doom. I'm adding Doom to the list of guys I would marry. There's only two people on that list. It's either Doom or Joseph Joestar. And I don't put the same on the list. Oh. Well, Kaiki's best girl, so it's not really like a gay relationship. But yeah.
Okay, fair.
Man. Oh, this guy. Oh, we have to do a Doom deep dive. We have to. Oh. Yeah. We also need to get into more villains. Yes.
Yeah, we have to do the Maker one too.
Yeah.
I give you my most solemn word of honor. Your love will make me a changed man.
No.
I can't promise anything, Victor. We have so much more to discuss before...
Understood. Just tell me that there is a chance for us.
Certainly.
Excellent.
Wait, don't tell me something happens to her. Please don't tell me. And that's is what sets Doom off. Oh god, 100% that's where it's going.
What's happening?
When I was young, I made a fateful choice. I chose science over sorcery. And I wanted to choose again. Thus, I made a pact. I conjured a cabal of nether demons who claimed it would make me the magician I could have been. And greater besides. But as is too often true of these demons, there was a barter involved. One condition. I had to sacrifice something of indescribable value.
Damn.
Man, you know, maybe I spoke a little too soon. Maybe, you know, yeah, that's fair. If Doom told me to, my soul would probably end up getting sold out to demons. Yeah. Damn it.
Like the end of K-pop Demon Hunters. They would have got me. My soul would have been theirs.
I still love him, though. I'd do it for him.
I would make the same mistake again.
Something irreplaceable. Something only
Holy
you
fuck, dude.
could give me.
Even I couldn't do this. I could never imagine.
Man, I love just a good
Dear
villain.
Valeria, I will miss you more than any will ever imagine. But I will always hold you close to me.
The rest is brutal. Doom engages in what is still his most evil scheme to date, a pure hate fest against the entire family, going from impressive to downright disturbing. Reed finally has to face up to the fact that Doom has the advantage, a contingency he always anticipated but didn't invest in, and the price is paid as Doom turns Reed to a different outlook. This examination takes on an often repeated story of swapping Reed and Doom's brains, and makes it a natural progression of their personalities, pushing Reed to the brink of insanity in his quest to prevent Victor from ever threatening his family again. This backfires horribly when Doom, in a violent, desperate finale, claims Ben's life. But the tale takes a turn when Reed realizes that, like Doom's insane plan, reviving his friend is not an unthinkable task, and that, to save him, the FF must go to heaven.
What? Man, this family goes places.
This
you
is
don't
the
belong
thesis in
here. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, a Doom is the one that pushes them to go beyond where they've ever been before. In both a character, personality, life thing, as well as a physical space thing, too. Or metaphysical space, if you're really thinking about it. But of course, yeah, you need a threat as big as Doom in order for that to happen to these characters that have already proven themselves to be so strong.
I mean, nothing has ever shaken Reed mentally quite like Doom has throughout their run of things. Like seeing, like, saving his daughter and his wife and all that shit too. Because it's like, you can't avoid him. Doom is always going to be, like, staring back at him.
And that's the perfect name for a villain like that too. Like, he's not always there, but in the background, you're always thinking about it. It can happen at any moment. And it is almost inevitable. Oh, man.
Cementing the concept of magic, or more plainly the unexplainable, as being the final frontier of knowledge Reed has to traverse. It's a metaphysical deconstruction of who these people are, what their purpose is, why they're not ready to give up, and in answering those questions and more, they are granted access to the ultimate answer, a chance to see why they exist at all and who brought
yeah, this is in the cosmology video.
them to be, and it's... I'm gonna shut up now.
Well, you coming in or what?
Anyone see that coming?
No. You sure we're in the right joint?
You two, show proper respect for... Reed, why am I taller than the Almighty?
What you see is what I am to you. Don't worry, it's a compliment, not an insult. That's what my creations do. They find the humanity in God. Pardon me one moment.
God has a phone? What's the number? Just one?
And then they're in the Forbidden City. The human jungle, right. Suddenly the Black Panther springs from the trees. Oh, okay. We'll make it the Silver Surfer. Yeah. Write it up and I'll start the designs.
Who called?
My collaborator. Enough said.
But these drawings are yours.
My contribution to the grand tapestry. Ideas, notions, passions.
We're all part of the process. Think about your world. It starts with words and pictures, the ordinary and the cosmic. That's what sets the stage. The play is your lives. Your adventures become our explorations. My window into tomorrow. How far out is the world that's coming? What is it? Where is it? How will it evolve? The mystery intrigues me. So who wants to fill me in on the whole Disney thing? God could do with some royalties, you know?
Wade's run was a...
But, man, oh, that would be so fucking awesome. If you had read this, like, from the very beginning, you've been following the comics ever since then, and you get to this moment of all things.
I love the concept of the one above all so much. Like, we talked about it a lot in the cosmology video, but
It blew my
it's
mind.
so good.
Yeah. It was such a great way to write things, to involve themselves too into their own work. Because, I mean, for the comic artist, it's their passion project, it's their creation. And it doubles as a guidelines for creating a good story too. It's awesome. Never seen anything like that in my life.
Grand starting point for anyone looking for a more immediate route to getting why these four are so special. From Ben going on a Yancey Street rampage, to Johnny becoming a businessman, to Reed fighting a living math problem, each story demonstrated why the four are so different from all the other heroes out there. And as Sue explains, why they have to do what they do.
You don't understand! Doria has asthma and she went for her inhaler and suddenly she couldn't touch it, and then we couldn't touch her and there's a wall around her and she can't breathe.
Sir, sit down. I'll handle it. Doria, right? Doria, listen to me.
Scared.
I recall what it was like, Doria. The first time. I had no idea what was happening, or why everything was suddenly out of reach. And the more I panicked, the worse it got. But I realized I was in control of this, not the other way around. And you are too. I promise.
Like, what's going on here?
Can't.
You can, Doria. It's all mental. Clear your head and let me in. It's my job to cope with this ability, Doria, not yours. Don't be frightened. You don't have to feel cursed. Because I don't. This power is a wonderful gift that I have never regretted for one instant. I want more than anything to get it back. So I can be normal again. That's it. Beautiful. We're going to be just fine.